Motorcycles and Misfits coming to you from the Recycle Garage in rainy Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Yep.
So I woke up this morning to that pitter-patter, and it wasn't me whittling the bed. It was rain, real rain, and it's been on and off all day. Now, you see, the thing is with Californians, we need the rain. We need the rain. I like the sunshine. I'm sorry, I like the sun. If I had my way, the sun would shine every day.
You know, we're technically in a rainforest. Santa Cruz is technically a rainforest. So,
Well, I suppose rain's
100
inevitable.
years ago.
Well, boo.
well, that's why we get the fog, the marine layer, right?
Anyway, here we are in the studio.
Here we are.
And who is with us in the studio? Well, I shall tell you. Sitting at the board, looking regal in mustard colour, it's Johnny.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Stumpy John here. Yay.
Now, sitting with me on the classy girl couch is a favourite. I don't know, I mean, are you a paramedic, Jonathan?
I am a paramedic.
So our favourite paramedic, an all-round very, very good guy, and KTM 500 rider and BMW Briquette rider, Jonathan.
Hello.
Hello. And joining us, we've got a treat for you. The newlyweds.
Oh, so cute.
Yes, cute as a button. It is Charlie and Mycah.
Yes, it is I.
Yes, it is you.
Yo.
Wiki. And joining us. Get in here.
He just walked in, closed the door.
Did
you start?
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't. No, we wouldn't start without you, Jim.
No.
We would. Honestly, we wouldn't start without you. It's
All this candy for you tonight.
We were just practicing.
Give it to Mike.
Yeah, give it to
Super stole your
Mike.
spot, so thank you.
We're doing a
There you go.
hateful.
We're doing a sound check right now.
We are doing a sound check. So,
I'm actually going to eat this right this second,
Jim?
so thank you.
sound check. 1, 2, 3. Jim looks so upset right now.
No, I'm more confused. I've been drinking champagne since like 9 this morning.
Oh, hi, Chew.
Why stop?
Pineapple.
Yes.
Who said I'm stopping?
Mango.
This 805 that I got Mycah and she doesn't want.
Oof. That would put me to sleep.
Now, we do have another member who will be joining us, the always delightful Bagel, but Bagel has an ancient computer that I think there's a hamster in a wheel in the back, and he has to coerce the hamster with a carrot or whatever.
Well, sometimes the bearings go bad, so it's harder for him to run.
Yes, exactly. So Bagel will be joining us when the steam stops coming out of the back of his computer. But we have an action-packed show for you tonight. As you're well aware, of course, Liza is still in Pakistan.
Yep.
Do you know the most unnerving thing about that whole trip? I keep seeing Liza in girl clothes.
That's been pretty surprising.
It is quite troubling,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm used to seeing.
It's pretty amazing. Like, I don't typically check out Facebook, but a friend of mine asked me today, like, hey, what's Liza up to? I'm like, I don't know. So I bounded on Facebook and checked out her posts. Oh, my God. The last, 6 or 7 days. It's pretty amazing. It really is. If you look at what they chalk up, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in Hunza Valley right now, which is one of my favorite places on earth.
Well, and they're riding those bikes at, 13,000 feet. They're watching all the ceremonies. They're eating all the food.
Yeah, they're having such a good time.
Yeah, but hang on. How long's the flight to get there?
A day.
A day. So you are not going to basically spend a day on an aeroplane and take it easy. You want to see everything. You want to pack as much into that vacation as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But it's funny, when you're away, I'm looking back to Kat and Emma's Alpine adventure. It was only a week, but we packed a lot into that week. Because you're flying halfway around the world. You don't want to be a slacker.
Yeah, we did so much in Pakistan. I was wiped out when I got home, but that's what you got to do. Not going that far to, lay on couches.
Right, exactly. But she's safe, which is great. Everybody else is safe. She hasn't been eaten by a llama or anything like that. And I think Liza always has a good time in Pakistan. It's become her home from home. And
It's wild, yeah. There's crashes, there's high elevation, they're like riding hand-carved roads.
You got to go, Jim. You would love it.
I just want to go to Idaho, man. Can I just go to Idaho?
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love Idaho.
Ew.
Wasn't that a B-52 song? You're living in your own private Idaho.
It was, yeah,
yes.
that's right.
One of
That's
their
good.
best, I feel.
Idaho. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, action-packed show. What did we do today? Not much.
Watched
actually.
it rain. Good Lord, it rained in California.
You know, Jim, you are such a dear.
Good
I
Lord.
came down at 11 o'clock and it was pouring down because I promised to open up while Liza was away. And, of course, you can't text and drive, so I got out. And the first thing I see was a text from Jim.
It was a picture of an eggplant, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you sent me one of those too.
Everybody gets one.
I
Appreciate that.
thought it was an eggplant. Anyway, said, are you opening up? And I said, yes, of course. But then you showed up pretty soon afterwards and we hung out.
I did. Like I said, I got waylaid a little bit this morning. But yeah, I enjoy our one-on-one time.
Mm-hmm.
We chatted. We laughed.
Yeah.
We mostly just laughed.
Yeah,
Waylaid by champagne, or what were you waylaid by?
All the things.
Yeah.
I was in the woods for the last couple of days, so I came home to a warm welcome.
So I'd like a little ride report from you. And it was a quiet day at the garage, but we did... seems the thing we do the most down at the garage are fork seals.
I think this describes the garage in a good way. The guy came down, the young dude, with a big cardboard box that looked expensive, and he pulled out a fork leg that was bent at a 45-degree angle.
Yes.
And that was considered a success.
Yes. It
Because
didn't start
full-
like...
Was it a V-Strom 650?
It was
Yeah.
a V-Strom 650, and we're not going to shame other shops because that's not what we do, but he took it into a shop to have the fork seals done, and we're not going to get into the whys and wherefores, but they messed up the fork slider, which is the aluminium bit that goes on the bottom of a fork, or the top if you have upside-down forks, I suppose. But anyway, they messed that up. And they're not that easy to get. If you need the tubes, if you need the chrome steel tubes, you know, every Tom, Dick and Harry's got them. But the aluminum part, couldn't even get them new. Suzuki have discontinued
What
them.
else do those fit on, though?
Well, that's it. I mean,
that's
these
the only one, huh?
V-Stroms. So I said, well, look, let's go on to Fleabay and see if we can find a used fork leg. And the only thing we could find is this thing was just bent like a banana. But I said, hey, look, the fork slider is good.
Mm-hmm.
So let's buy it. And he only paid $100 for it.
Yeah.
And we cannibalized it. We took all the good parts from the bent one and all the bad parts from the straight one, made one good fork leg, which worked epically.
Awesome.
And then...
Well deserving. You know, it was funny because I was talking to a friend this morning. I was trying to describe the garage, and they're like, it's pouring rain, right, thankfully. And like, is the garage going to be open? And I said it will be, because there's going to be somebody that has to go to work on Monday
Right.
that has their bike all jacked up that really needs to get this thing back up on the road.
And that was Brendan.
We hung out this morning for a while. Then I went back home, and that was the story I told. That was the person that showed up.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant.
And, you know, Brendan works at a deli, seven days a week operation. And apparently the couple of weeks that his bike's been here, waiting for parts, he's been pleading with his boss, oh, please let me have the weekend off so I can fix my bike. So, anyway.
But he pulled that fucked up fork leg out of the box.
Oh, my.
And you're like, perfect.
That's all we need.
Mm.
That's all we need. And for $100, we got all the parts we needed. And I mean, Suzuki wanted, God, how much? Even if you could have bought a brand new one and it's a long discontinued part, I think Suzuki wanted $400 or $500 for the slider.
Mm.
So, you know, you get what you get. And that's that. So that was really the extent of work in the garage.
That's not true. Andy did some stuff on his bike today.
Oh, yeah, Andy Stadenko.
Andy showed up, which was
Get
awesome.
out of here.
No.
Andy from Colorado. That dude
Yes.
mobs. I don't even know how to describe how that guy
He's
rides. Was he on
driving-
that crazy choppery thing?
He bought an XR 650L, and it's going to probably be one of the safest road trips he's ever done.
Probably.
No, it
He was
won't. No,
complaining-
Andy doesn't do anything.
He's
That thing is
awesome.
Box stock.
He was complaining about his bikes and stuff today and riding back with this thing. And I was like, are you kidding me? You've done way stupider shit on motorcycles.
Oh, my gosh.
Than ride on this thing.
Yeah, that guy builds things. Why is he out here?
I bought a bike.
Oh,
Yeah, bought the
good reason enough.
XR650L. Was really excited to have it. It's a bike that he has some history with. It's a family friend's bike that he's ridden for a little while when he's been in town, and so he finally has the chance to own it.
Yeah,
And
he used
so he's doing
to.
that.
When he first came around, he was building choppers out of mopeds and things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Remember all that? Now he's building just crazy choppery things,
Absolutely.
and he
They're not
rides
any
all
safer.
over. No,
So, so Andy he did a chain and did some maintenance work, ready for the ride back, and that looks like it. But we have an action-packed show tonight. Jonathan's back, and I think we want to do a little more on this paramedic stuff. There's so much there. I mean, you could come on every week, Jonathan, and talk about this, and we could still not even scratch the surface. But before we get to you, we have a ride report. And not just a ride report, we have a ride report, a race report, and a crash report all in one. From Mycah.
Well, not technically a race report, just a track day report.
Okay.
We're not racing anyone but ourselves.
Well, yeah, you're racing the
well, I
clock,
mean-
darling.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, since you two were married, I'm kind of treating you as sort of one entity. It's not Mycah and Charlie anymore. It's Mycah and Charlie. It's one word.
Well,
but
you could go by our. It's either Hatler or
Hatler.
Yeah, we were talking about combining our names for a little while, but the options were Hatler or Millfield.
Well, I like Millfield.
Neither are good options.
number two.
No, I like Millfield.
Milfield?
It
You're a
sounds like-
fan of Milfield?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
A field of MILFs.
So decided
I
not
mean-
to go
Oh,
either of
now I
those
get
ways.
it.
Yes.
I didn't get that. at first.
So, well, I mean,
That's my
you know,
vote, by the way.
I still support it.
I feel, I am the old schooler. I feel it's
The old school MILF.
Oh, I see a name on the screen. Could it possibly be? Could it be
Bagel coming heavy.
Yes, it is I.
It's Bagel!
Yay!
Yes!
I am
You
here.
made it.
If-
Well done, Bagel.
Yes, thank you. I'm still working on the computer, but I got some audio for now.
Well, please forgive us for starting without you, but
No
it's
worries.
never the same without you, but I know you are
Oh.
computerly challenged. Now,
Yes.
is it your actual computer, or is it just the area of the world that you choose to live, or a combination of
it's-
both?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of both, but it's really my computer is aging, not so gracefully, and there are parts that are being waited on and have been waiting on for quite a while. So I'm hoping it'll be fixed soon.
Well, fingers crossed, Bagel. Fingers crossed, darling.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
anyway, no, I'm from the old school. I think it'd be polite to start with you, Mycah. So we get just the track day report from you,
Yes.
don't we?
Absolutely.
So tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, we've been doing a lot more track this year. Now that I'm involved in Z2 teaching Road Rider, we've been doing a whole lot more track, which means that I'm not fast, but I'm faster than I was. We went a couple weeks ago and I got to drag my right knee for the first time. Well, first I did my left knee for the first time in over a year, and then was my right knee that same weekend, which was super, super exciting. I dragged my left knee before, but I had been, I took 8 months off of track when we were wedding planning, just because we were so busy with that process. So I just took some time.
What are you riding?
Oh, I've got my Ninja 300 for a track.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty much stock. I've got a couple fun parts on it, but nothing too exciting. Just things to make it a little bit more comfortable for riding. My tech specs, my Woodcraft rear sets, and things like that.
My flips here. Woodcraft rear set.
Woodcraft rear sets, good Christmas presents. Yeah. That was really, really, really exciting. We got some good feedback from instructors that weekend. Did a lot of riding. The last time before we'd been to Thunderhill, it was just a little bit of a miserable heat weekend. So I only did 3 sessions that time. This time when we went, I think I did 10 sessions the first day and 8 the next, something like that. So I really got a lot more riding and doing BNC group, which was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean those bikes will rip in the stock format. Like you don't have to do that much to them if you're not like a crazy like weight spectrum.
Well, on a
And-
shorter
yeah.
track,
That's a big track.
well, I know, but it's not a super long distance track, but technique is everything.
I mean, that's one of the fun things about riding a small bike on Thunderhill. We did East, which is the speed track.
Right.
And part of the fun of that is that you, as a little bike, have to keep all the corner speed, because if you want to be able to
It's
keep
momentum,
up with
yeah.
the fast bikes who can just park it in the corners and go really fast in the straightaways, you need to keep your corner speed.
There is, however, a pretty large speed delta in the straightaway, because like your little bikes are topping out at like 100,
Which is so frustrating when someone's parking it in front of you in
Yeah.
the corners all the time, and then they pass you on the straight again. Oh,
Well, but then the litter bikes will do like 180, and so they're just like,
So what are those bikes like out of the box, like a stock 300 as far as a bike? Like, have you done many modifications, or is it kind of just stock and you run it and it's awesome?
yeah, basically that. I bought it when we got it. It had a non-California legal exhaust on it, and I got the guy to go down on price because of the upgraded exhaust by citing that it's not California legal. So even though he paid more money for it, I got him to go down on price because of that, and that was a very proud buying the bike moment for me.
Well done.
Yeah.
I taught you well.
great.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
because
Yeah.
Mike is the
because I'm a
motorcycle
safety instructor, and I was like, oh, I could lose my job by riding something non-California legal. You got to go down on the price. Blah,
God,
blah,
the
blah.
melodrama.
And then
Oh,
Micah
it's
buying
awesome.
this motorcycle as a track
As a
bike
track
that
bike.
legally doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it had an upgraded exhaust when I got it. I haven't. I still need to do some adjustments, because sometimes when I downshift, it goes pop, 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 pop. So that's a fun and exciting thing to do next. I have more parts to put on it that I haven't done yet. I think that buying parts for motorcycles and applying them to the motorcycles are completely separate hobbies.
That's true.
That's
yeah.
very well said.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean-
yes.
Besides some, minor like ergonomic adjustments, you can go really fast on those bikes
Yeah.
in the stock format.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's only like at Laguna or wherever, Thunderhill, there's only so many chances where you get to open it up in sixth
Right.
gear. The rest of it's demon, how demon late can you be on the brakes, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
all
And it's
cornering.
funny, the Ninja has really taken the crown for the smaller track day bike now. For a long time, it was the R3.
Yeah.
And I think certainly since the 400 came out.
The 400 class really changed it, and that's why I
Yeah.
have the Ninja 300, is because the 400 class, everyone's been switching to the 400s, and
Right.
so all of the 300 parts are suddenly a lot cheaper on Craigslist.
Right. And it's not like you're getting a substantially less machine. 300 is a very, very capable bike.
Yeah.
It's a super capable bike.
I don't notice much of a difference between me and Charlie's bike power-wise. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference, but it's not super substantial unless you're really using all of it, which Charlie now is getting to that point, versus I'm really not there. The biggest difference for me between the 300 and the 400 is the body style, the tank and stuff is slightly different. His feels more angular and a little bit slightly more forward, versus mine is slightly more standard. So sitting on both, I think it's just do you have the body type for the 300 to feel comfortable for you, or do you have the body
Right.
type for the 400 to feel more comfortable for you?
And I think that was a definite shift with Kawasaki. The Ninjas, they occupy an odd place in Kawasaki. For a long time, the Ninja was the sport bike, and it's never been the sport bike. It's more been the street bike. And the 300 was very much a street bike. Whereas
Yeah.
with the 400, they said, let's do something a little more dedicated to track day. And they made it a lot more forward, a lot more aggressive
Yeah,
in terms of
absolutely.
riding position. It's far more focused as a track bike. And if you've got the body for it, that's great. But I feel for an everyday bike, yours is probably a lot more comfortable.
I agree. Whenever my students are asking about, have interest in the Ninjas, I always point them towards the 300s over the 400s, mostly for that point. I tell them to sit on both and see what they like, but oftentimes the 300 is going to be more comfortable if they're doing anything except for corners.
Right.
I mean, they're both good bikes. You're not going to really notice a huge power difference between the two. I mean, the 400's nicer because it's newer.
Right,
You're
and I
buying
mean,
a
that's it,
2-year-old bike versus
Yeah.
a 10-year-old.
I mean, his has ABS, which he disabled. Mine does not have ABS. So, I mean, now that his is off the bike, there's not much of a difference between that either.
But as far as lap times on a track, you're talking a couple seconds.
yeah.
But I'm always so thrilled by your progress, Mycah, because it really doesn't seem that long ago that you were always on the back of Charlie's bike,
It's been a little while now. I've been
I
riding
know.
about 6.5 years now.
But
Yeah.
So
here
it's
you
been a minute.
are. You've been through the process. You're an instructor. You're doing race days. You're grinding knees.
Yes.
What's
Mike is
next?
killing it.
Which is really satisfying. Next is to go faster. I got to start actually using more throttle, less brakes.
Okay.
Or more throttle
Now,
and more brakes.
Use throttle sooner, use brakes later.
Yeah, I realized that last time we did Thunderhill West, I applied my front brake and got about halfway down my lever before it actually started applying when I was thinking that it was going to happen sooner than that,
Okay.
coming into a pretty tight turn, and managed to still make the turn, which means that even though I shit my pants a little bit, my braking marker can be a whole lot later because I still made the turn.
Are you going to stick with the 300 for a while?
Oh yeah, for quite a bit. Until I'm at a point where I'm doing a group, I think that the Ninja 300 is going to be it for me. I don't feel the need to graduate to more power until my riding ability is surpassing what I can do with my bike at the moment, which is going to be quite a while. Though I'm in B, I was forcibly removed from C group by my friends telling me, you're dragging knee or passing people, get the fuck out of C. So now I'm finally in B doing a little bit more, and as soon as I get a lot faster, then I'll start looking for something else.
Sage advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
mean,
so.
Sage advice.
I think the small bikes are a lot more fun in A group versus
Right.
B group because in A group you have people on the big bikes, but they're not parking in the turn, so you're not being held up by anybody, so
Right.
you can just like focus on going, and you're not like this dick break me, and I have to like get around him, and then he's like powering out of it and then stopping again, and like
Well, this has dovetailed into you, Charlie. So you have a ride report, a track day report, and a crash report for us.
Oh, hooray. That's why he's drinking that 32-ounce White Claw over there.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
I get it.
airbags are really good.
Were you wearing one?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
the
it worked?
airbag that I bought for Mycah for Christmas, and it didn't work because they don't make airbags for women, and it ended up just fitting me. But
Is that because you bought it secretly for you?
no, I actually
No.
No, I'm teasing.
He
I'm
got it
teasing.
for me, and then he
I'm sure he
replaced
did.
it and got another one for me. And I've tried some on in stores, and they just don't make them so that they are comfortable for women body types
Yeah.
yet. And
Darn it.
so eventually, I'll have to get a suit with one. But
We will-
until then,
we
it's
will
his.
we will advocate for such.
Absolutely, I am.
I feel you're not the first husband in the world who is wearing his wife's clothes. However, so
Maybe the first that inflate.
Yeah.
how about that?
yeah.
So
We call that the USS Minnow.
yes. So let's talk about it. What happened? What'd you do?
Well, I dragged my elbow.
Oh, that was such bullshit. I came in from Saturday on one of the days or one of our sessions. I came back in and I was like, I finally got my left knee down again. And Charlie comes in at the end of his session. He's like, I got my elbow down, motherfucker. Awful.
Yeah, no, we were looking at like our because they take pictures of the track days, and you can go into the little booth or whatever, and you can like
This is one on purpose, I assume. Right?
yeah.
Okay.
So we were like looking at my pictures, and like we were looking at this, and I was like, fuck, I could drag my like elbow, like, because we were like, if I just like move my elbow a little bit and like maybe lean the bike a little bit more, it's like actually like a possibility.
Okay.
And at this point in time, it's like that's an unachievable goal. Like, I mean, dragging your knee is cool as shit, but like, you'll never drag your elbow. Like that doesn't happen. That only happens when you crash. And then that next session, I just went out and dragged my elbow, and I was like, holy fuck. And then got some pictures of it, kind of.
But then you crashed.
No, I
No,
crashed
that was
the next day.
Oh, that was the next day.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you
Oh, no,
drug
yeah.
your elbow and then 5 minutes later, or maybe even
Oh,
5
no, like, I
seconds.
was
He was
doing-
trying to
you
trying to
crashed.
drag both elbows.
I was doing
As he was leaving the bike.
I was doing the whole session. I was purposely getting my elbow on the ground.
That is amazing.
Is that what they teach in school?
No.
So now wait a minute.
Now, I was actually going slower when I was doing it too.
Well,
So you were just fucking around, is what
He
you were
was doing it for the pictures because
Yeah.
the photographer was
Yeah.
in turn too.
And
Is it-
how'd that work out?
isn't that called grandstanding?
So it was actually unlucky because he didn't actually get any photos of his elbow on the ground. He has it about a centimeter off the ground in every single photo of that session.
Yeah.
But he has the puck mounted above the mantelpiece at home.
Exactly. It's like Mike's C group
Well,
trophy.
no.
It's his A
So
group trophy.
it's my suit doesn't have an elbow slider, so it's just dragging the leather on my elbow. So I did it for that session, and I was like, "That's really cool. I can do it." Now I'm going to not do this anymore because I don't want to like burn a hole through my suit.
So, you're riding the Ninja 400,
Yes.
but you've done a ton of stuff to yours as well as Mycah.
No, I mean, for the most part, it's stock as far as like
suspension.
So there's a Gixxer shock on it, which is
Yes.
super cheap, but it's not like that great.
Anything
the
on the
forks are
forks?
stock.
Oh, right.
The forks
okay.
are stock. The tires, I was running the soft compound,
Right.
Race tire.
Yes. Have done anything with the riding position?
So there's I have Woodcraft clip-on, so it brings your hands a little bit lower for ergonomics, and then I have the rear sets, which ergonomically moves your feet up a little bit.
I'm going to tell you something about Woodcraft rear sets. Is they're anodized black.
Yep.
However, when they get a bit of sun on them, the anodizing fades
Correct.
and they become a wood color.
Yep.
Got wooden rear sets.
By design.
Yes.
Fair.
Well, I don't know.
No,
Hey, it's Woodcraft parts. It's
Yes.
supposed to,
and then
Chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Yeah,
in the
right.
name.
Exactly.
I put a lot of protection parts on it. So
Well, you always got to wear protection.
Yeah, so
Charlie.
there's the
And
Woodcraft
consent.
engine case covers, and there's the axle sliders.
for
and there's,
when you wad it.
yes.
Yes.
So as far as actual performance modifications, there's not really much besides a shock. And then I've removed some weight with taking the ABS off and then taking
All right,
the repair
very
system
nice.
out and
But
things like that. But
Feel Like a Pro is racing basically stock Ninja
Yes.
300
Oh, yeah.
400s. They're great bikes for the track just from the factory.
Right.
So you can, if you're in a really wide spectrum of the weight category, now you are going to have to adjust your spring rates and things like that.
Okay.
But you can ride really fast and get
And
And
get
get-
yourself in a
yeah.
lot of trouble.
So-
And get your elbow down
Yeah.
the day before you crash heavily.
And the rest of you down. That's when he got his head down.
yeah. I did.
Drug head.
So,
No, I didn't drag the head. I smacked my head.
Yeah, smack the head with a brand new helmet.
Yeah.
Not so new anymore.
Charlie, what happened, darling?
So
Lead us spare no detail, because
So I was-
anytime anyone crashes, it's always great.
So turn 14 at Thunder Hill, which
Yes.
is right before the straight. It goes 14, 15, but they're kind of both the same turn.
Left-hand turn?
Right hand.
Right-hand turn.
Pretty
yes.
sharp.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I was going and I
What gear is the turn?
I was going 65 miles an hour through GPS.
But I am probably going. I also dragged my knee. That was the first time I dragged my right knee on Sunday in that turn, and I'm probably going 40 in that turn. It's it can be a pretty slow turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a really hard turn. When you're in it, so turn 14 is fairly straightforward, but turn 15, the horizon kind of makes it look like it's not there, so it's really hard to see how wide the track is.
So-
So it's kind of the turn's designed to mess with you mentally.
Are you over full boat?
What do you mean,
All the way?
Yes.
So you're all the way over, your knees down, your
Yeah.
elbows nearly down, everything's down?
Yeah, so my knees on the ground, and then
Yes.
the back end of the bike just started to slide out, and I was like, "This is bad." And I kind of tried to, when your bike starts to slide out, you don't want to snap the throttle off or do anything crazy. You want to just kind of ride it through, because if you do anything aggressive, it's gonna.
In the words of Yamaha Champ School, a tire can take an immense load, but not an abrupt load.
Right.
But if you cut your throttle, the tire's for sure now grabbing. You're upsetting the chassis because you're leaned over so far. You don't have a lot of traction or
Right.
suspension travel to begin with. So it's
Right.
it's a pretty shitty situation to be in. But yeah, it just started sliding over, and then it caught, and I high-sided, and now is disconnect from the bike, flying through the air, and it all happened pretty quick.
So
But
talk about high siding's a serious thing.
it's pretty fucked up.
So as you launched into the atmosphere,
Well, you're launched 10 feet in the air or something, going 65 miles an hour.
yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, and so I
It's
don't
just the start usually.
Yeah, and I don't really remember most of it.
I mean, it's
Well
So I
said.
think
it's quick.
Yeah.
I think I think I landed on my back and my head first, and my helmet is fully cracked on the backside of it. So it's a brand new carbon fiber Bell race helmet, cracked totally. The airbag worked really good. And like the helmet worked awesome. Like,
Well,
I don't have a concussion. Didn't get a concussion.
Let's talk a little bit about the airbag, because you're not the only misfit. Mike McCarthy has just got an airbag vest as well.
Wait, didn't we demo?
I did. I was the one that demoed.
You were
it.
the original. That was like 3 or 4 years ago.
So
We're like fire in the hole.
Yeah. So how does this thing work on a lanyard? So as soon as you separate from the bike, the lanyard pulls and you're inflated.
So we like tethered ones because we like to have a mechanical pull. There are of course, plug-in, like the electric versions, whatever, where it just has accelerometers and stuff in it. But we like having a physical tug, and that will blow up the CO2 cartridge.
And that's a personal preference. I mean, you have Alpine Star, Design Easy. I mean, they're all good airbags, and they work wirelessly.
He detached, and you can see in his photos with his GoPro, because he had it on time lapse mode like a nerd. And his tug went off. The tether tugged, and you can see it in the photos where it kind of disconnects, and immediately he was walking off the track like Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, and it encapsulates your chest and your back, and then around your neck, and so
that's also significant. I have students sometimes who ask me if they come from dirt biking, why people don't ride on the street without
a neck brace
kind of stuff, and things like airbags have enough puff up that they'll often protect your neck.
They'll push against the base of the helmet and support you.
They act as a neck brace. So now when you're smacking your head on the ground, you're not also maybe breaking your neck or tweaking it.
You weren't smacking, you were dragging.
No, I smacked
it.
It was a pretty good smack.
If I was dragging my helmet on the ground, there'd be scrapes, but these are cracks.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
What kind of helmet? What
it's
helmet?
A Bell carbon fiber race helmet. That was brand new. It was first time wearing it.
Oh man,
money well spent.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't have a concussion. I went to the work the next day. My neck was a little sore, but ultimately, all of my protective gear worked out really well. I'd rather high side and smack my head on the ground with a brand new helmet than one that was 10 years old.
Than one you got from the garage.
Yeah, I mean.
So now the obvious thing is the helmet you have to throw away.
Yes.
Yeah.
The suit. Do you get it deflated and then reinflated?
It depends on the airbag suit you buy. Since I have a Helite, I can buy a $25 CO2 cartridge and plug it back in and wear it.
Wow.
So that's one of the reasons that we went with this one, is because you can go out and crash your bike and then come back in and your suit is already deflated, and you can plug in a new cartridge and go out 20 minutes later and crash your friend's bike. So it's safe to use over and over and over again, and it doesn't have any repackaging time. You don't have to send it off.
And how much did you actually inflate? I mean, do you end up looking like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
It's pretty substantial. I mean, it's probably 4 inches.
Oh, wow.
I remember
the tubes,
when we did it in the podcast, we had Charlie back. We podcasted in the garage with the possums, and we put one on Charlie, and we had no idea, and we pulled the thing on it like a life raft, and boom. But it was very substantial, especially around the neck and the head. Mm-hmm. It completely immobilized his head. I mean, it was really impressive.
Well, and so that's the benefit of the external vests over the internal systems, is that the external vests have a lot more freedom to expand more. So the internal stuff works really good as well, but it's not as substantial.
And that's probably what I'm going to have to go with when I buy a suit eventually.
And that's what Michael bought, the internal vest that goes under a coat. You can actually put it under any jacket, but they say it works best with its own jacket.
Well, so the internal stuff, you have to wear a jacket that is able to, it has to have stretch panels that'll mate to it, because if you don't have stretch panels, now you're inflating this thing rapidly, and it's now compressing your
and then you can't breathe.
Yeah, and so you really have to have the jacket that has the stretch panels for it so you don't die. But
so how comfortable is it just when it's not just riding?
I don't notice it.
Really,
I don't notice it riding. I mean, it just works. It's but I'm using it with my tracksuit, which while I'm riding on the track, I don't really notice the discomfort of a tracksuit with it being tight. But walking around, it's not really designed for that.
Right. You don't do much street riding anymore, do you?
Oh, I do a lot of street riding.
Do you wear it then too in the street?
No. I mean,
So the Helite that we have is the track version. So it's got like a cutout in the back for a speed hump. And my problem whenever I put it on, well, first off, if it fits my hips or my waist, then it won't fit lengthwise, or it won't fit my chest or whatever. So I never found one that fit me well. But even then, it has a panel at the top around the back of the neck area that kind of goes around where the speed hump is. It's kind of like a triangle cutout, and that part up there would dig in a little bit if I was in more of a street upright position rather than a more forward position. But that could be just because it was not fitting properly for me. I don't know if that's been your experience in attempting it on the street.
I mean, it just feels like a vest.
When we pulled the cord that time in the garage, it looked like you were ready to go down with the Titanic. It was like all poof, it flayed up, but it works. It's great.
We have a little video. So it sucks because Charlie's GoPro was on time lapse mode, so we just have a couple little photos of throughout the crash. There's one of his foot high up in the air, which is really exciting. And then the video. So the photographer out for the track day was Got Blue Milk, and Dito was taking photos in turn 15, which is right after where he crashed. And he was also taking slow-mo video in turn 15. So Charlie crashes right off camera, and then his bike slides into frame, and Charlie runs into frame. And so we have a little video of Charlie like running and like tumbling into frame, getting up and running off, and he's like puffed up like the Jet Puff Marshmallow Man running off track. And you can see the people almost hit him and not hit him as he was running off.
But what a testimony to good gear. I mean, 65 mile an hour get off, walk away, go to work the next day. That's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If his bike had been fine and he had a secondary helmet ready to go, because if you crash at the track, they're not going to let you on with a helmet. But then he would have been able to continue on for later sessions.
Right. Well, great. Thank you. And Jonathan's being so patient right here. And we're going to come to you after. You've got a quick ride report for us,
I'm perfectly
Jim,
happy
as well.
not talking.
Yeah. Well, there's no escape, Jonathan. I'm sorry, mate.
No,
You've got a quick ride report as well, haven't you, Jim?
Yeah, sure. I can chime in, I guess.
Yes.
Although I want to hear from Jonathan. I'm very curious because I missed last time. So I was up in the mountains again on the Africa Twins, so adventure riding. I'm starting to embrace it a little bit more. So I was up at a place called Huntington Lake, so it's about 7,500 feet east of Fresno, interestingly enough. One of the cool things about it is it's pretty close to home. It's about 4 hours away.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And but you're up in the forest proper and high alpine lakes. So the campgrounds are closed now because it's kind of in that time of year where it can get kind of snowy and that kind of stuff. But I'd been up there a few times, and with the 450. Not with an adventure bike and not by myself. So this was kind of a new adventure. And I was hoping maybe Matt or Craig, who we talk about every now and then, might join me, but they both couldn't make it. No big deal. So I'm like, well, I'll go on my own, right? Because it is adventuring. And ended up there and found a great camping site. Me and all the deer hunters. Deer hunting is alive and well in America. I will tell you that. And, we were in Mendocino a month ago, and I guess bow hunting season started. I don't hunt, so I don't know much about it. But a lot of people do, so there were people up in the forest, so it was kind of fun. So took the Africa Twin, loaded up with tent and sleeping bag and all that kind of stuff, and went up in some fire roads. And I tell you, the Sierras, once you kind of understand how vast they are vast. There is so much room up there to explore and to camp and to just get away from other humans. It's pretty amazing. So I had scouted out some places before and found a couple little creeks. When you got like that trail number like 5403, and then there's like a B and a C and a D. Well, I had found like F, and it was this little offshoot of a main trail that ended up at a creek, and it was absolutely beautiful. So set up camp there, and it was a little colder than I thought it was going to be at 7,500 feet.
How cold was it, Jim? You told me this morning.
I know. Well, the first morning it was 31.
That's cold enough. It gets worse.
Well, I'm looking online. I'm like, it's 38. I'm like, that's fine. No big deal.
Were you prepared?
No.
Well, you just keep the bike
Sorta.
running next to you, and it kind of acts like a little heater.
Well, you just underestimate it, and you're like, by the time you're in the tent, you don't want to get back out of the tent.
Right.
Yeah.
But so after the first morning, I woke up. I had 7 hand warmers popped and in my sleeping bag because it had gotten that chilly. So got out, it was 31 the first morning, 27 yesterday morning.
Jeez.
Yeah. But you know what? The sun comes up by like 9 o'clock. It's probably 55, 60 degrees.
Right.
But in the morning, I just got my ass up and started walking around. But so what I'll say was, it was great. Quote, adventure riding. I did 170 miles on Saturday of pure adventure dual sport riding. So from where I was, it was forest roads, but I could ride out from Huntington Lake to a place called Courtright Reservoir. And it was so you go down to Shaver Lake, which was bitchin'. You're in the middle of the mountains. Shaver Lake, you can have pizza and 5G. It's awesome these days. I swear to gosh. And so bombed down there, had coffee and a burrito, and then went to Courtright Reservoir. So Google it if you haven't heard of it. I hadn't really until I was checking out the area. Beautiful high alpine lake. It was funny because you could ride down in the reservoir because the lake levels are so low, but all of a sudden you're riding like in desert conditions because you're in sand. It's very sandy up in the high Sierras, especially when you're in a low reservoir. So snuck up there, and then there's a Jeep trail up there. There's a lot of Jeep trails. And at least in California, when you hear it, like I used to think Jeep trails were easy. Yeah, John's shaking his head.
Nope.
Yeah, what's a
Not
Jeep
at all.
trail, John?
It's a rocky, you got to have a crawler kind of thing.
A winch trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I broke my axle kind of trail.
Right.
But if you're if you're a good rider and on a 2-stroke, it's something that might be doable. But that kind of stuff was around there. So there was one called the Dusty Ersham Trail I was on the southern part of it. And I went to check it out, and I rode across the dam. It was pretty wild. Got to the beginning of it, and usually, I can't remember the term. You might know, John. At the very beginning of a Jeep trail, they make it hard. Because they're like, if you can't get past this, you have no business being out there. Anyway,
I didn't know.
So I went up there, looked at it, and completely chickened out. And I'm like, I'm out of here. And then went back into the forest.
Would you have done it on the 450?
I would have tried it on the 450.
Yeah.
I'm about there.
But I mean, you're really embracing that Africa Twin right now, aren't you? You're kind of getting into it more.
I am. Well, I've had it for a while, and I think in the last few months it's clicked. I have it. I need to ride it like a dirt bike.
And I gave you some Emma love over the front forks, which really helped you out a lot.
So we spoke about this, and as I'm riding, I did a lot of, a bunch of twisty pavement going to and from, but then I also explored some of these Jeep trails. And what I've started doing, it's like common sense, but when you get to the hard part, you get off the bike and you walk it. And if you chunk it out, it's like if you're like a dyslexic learner,
right? You
chunk out your work, right? If you chunk out a difficult section of dirt biking, it's doable.
I mean, I've done that all the time in my truck when I take my 4x4
Well,
up there. Same thing.
And it doesn't just apply to trails. I mean, you all know that I used to drive, big tour buses for a living. When you pull into a destination and you've never been there before, you get out and you walk the destination and you chunk it out. Even if it's a parking lot at the Holiday Inn, you need to know that you're going to fit that thing in there. So you walk it. And you're mentally looking about where am I going to put it. So, I mean, there's a lot of analogies there.
So we do that, too, on the track. We do track walks, and even when we are working on stuff, it's one corner at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you going to put this? Do we have room to do this here? Do we have room? So it's quite normal.
But it's a nice little epiphany to have. Be like, I can actually get off the bike, take off my helmet, walk up here and check it out. Of course,
Of
course, the funny thing is, and this speaks to your suspension work, is what do they say? No plan survives first contact. Because as soon as you pick out a line up this rocky, ruddy uphill thing on this 500-pound, 1,000cc bike, you hit a rock and everything goes awry. Yeah. And you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to look up and pin it. Yep. But that's where the suspension work. We talked a little bit about how you set up the bike, where you can pound into either a hole or a rock. And as long as you keep your eyes up, your hands on the throttle, and as loose as you can be on the bars, the Africa Twin or the bikes just eat it up.
Well, the common mistake a lot of people make with suspension is stiff is good. And it works to a certain extent, certainly on a track, that's fine. But when you're actually on a trail, particularly a rough trail, you've got to kind of think holistically and say, look, I don't want to be tired. So when you hit a rut, when you hit a rock, you want the suspension to be super compliant and actually soak that up before it hits the top and shakes the bars. But then you need extra damping when it extends, but not so slow that it hasn't finished fully extending before you hit the next one. So it's a balancing act.
And when you explained it, it made perfect sense because, like I told you, most of my best writing comes as terror and a surprise, because you're in a situation where your best option is to keep, like, all your other options are bad, so you just pin it and keep going. But that's when the suspension means so much.
What I basically did on yours, and I mean, I did quite a little bit of Emma's laying on of the hands, but in very, very broad terms, I backed way off the preload and really amped up the damping, and it worked very well for your bike. But it is a big old bus.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm proudest of, what you did, what did you do that made me so proud?
Well, two things.
Weekend?
One was actually riding on a Jeep trail and actually doing
that makes
trials
me
you shoot
very
on the big
proud,
bike. But without a doubt, the proudest thing I did was change a rear tire on an adventure bike in the field.
Oh, wow.
It was one of the things I was dreading the most and hoped I would never have to do because I didn't think I could do it. And then you're faced with something where you really have no choice.
Tubed, right?
Yeah, it's a tubed tire, but 2.5-inch fucking nail out of nowhere. Who the fuck knows where it came from? And but there's no flat tires. So
all those nail trees.
I know, right?
I saw your Facebook photos of that. That looked insane and very, very cool.
It speaks to Recycle Garage, right? Because I've only been doing this for a little while, and so two things I'll say. One is the tenacity I've learned from watching other people at Recycle Garage. Charlie and Mycah, no doubt. I've seen Charlie tear out motors. I've seen you guys tear all sorts of shit apart. Everybody people get things going. So I've learned tenacity is a huge thing, and pain and misery. But no. So between the tenacity and Emma showing me how I've only seen you do tires twice. I know your feelings around changing tires, so I've only seen you do tires twice. The second time was a scooter tire that you did as a personal favor to me. And if you want to watch someone change a tire, watch Emma do a scooter fucking tire by hand. Bagel, how hard is a scooter tire by hand?
It is not easy.
No.
And this was not a split rim. This was a tubeless tire, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a Blackjack 150. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
that's a 10-inch wheel, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that is not easy to do.
So my tutelage was watching Emma change the scooter wheel, and if it wasn't for that, I don't think I could have done it.
How long did it take you?
Probably 2.5 hours.
But it doesn't matter. It got him rolling.
Absolutely.
And that's the important thing, because when you're out on a trail, once you're out there in the middle of nowhere, your watch doesn't matter, because it's all about just
the sun matters.
The sun matters.
The sun matters.
Is the available sun. And if the sun goes down, you make camp right there.
Yeah.
And then you...
Well, it's trippy when it happened. Fortunately, I was only like a mile away from my camp. And this is one of the reasons I like the Moto Zs. They've got those super stiff sidewalls that you can ride out. So I rode it more or less back to my camp. I stayed on the main road in case because I did not have a lot of confidence making this repair. I'm like, fuck. So kept it on the main road, hiked down to my tent a couple of 100 yards, got my tools, come up, and I just took a deep breath, and I'm like, this is going to take me a couple of hours. And we were talking earlier with Emma, is everything with adventure bikes, it's kind of amplified, right? Everything's heavier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether it's changing the wheel or it's just turning around or parking it, for God's sake. Everything, there's more is significant. But anyway, so kept it up on the main road in case I had an issue, I could do things, and then laid everything out, and then just kind of started doing what we had done.
You had an extra tube with you?
I did. So I was, I guess, I was prepared, right? I had everything. I had everything to change it to. I had front and rear tube, had the sockets, had all the stuff. Was able to get the rear axle nut off easy enough. But even that, nothing's given. Mm-mm. You could anyway, get it off, get the wheel off. You're working in the dirt, so you have to be mindful of that. What was hilarious, though, I probably would have been finished an hour earlier, and I love it, is because it's deer season. People are out, so every 5 or 10 minutes, hey, how you doing? You need some help? No, I'm good. How you doing? Good. Because you don't want to be rude and all that, because you might need their help an hour from now, right? Because they have an air compressor or whatever it might be. And anyway, so some quick lessons learned. A is be patient, because I knew it was going to be a couple hours, and it was at least that. And everything's heavy and everything's slow.
Did you have a pump with you, or did you use a CO2?
This is so good question. I had CO2 with me, right? And this is a good learning moment. and I learned from it is I went through 6 CO2 cartridges.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't remember the size.
I don't carry
whatever
6.
the fuck they are.
Yeah.
No, and I just did all this shit was kind of by chance. Like, I'll throw it in. I'll throw it in. Not anymore. So the problem was getting the bead to set.
Right.
So blood everywhere. Anyway, I get the shit all in there and get it sorted out. And, but then every moment you're like, is this going to work? But getting the bead to seal those. So the last little tube I had, boom, it popped out and was seated.
What a good moment that was. Huh? It's like, oh Lord.
Every moment was good though. It was funny. The funniest moment, I was like, if someone could see me or hear me, my God. But when you're trying to get the tire off the first time, it's so hard to get off. So you finally get it off, and then you get the thing out, and then it springs out and hits you in the face, and you get it back again and again. I mean, anybody who's changed tires knows this. Yeah. And so one time I get 2 of the tire tools over, the levers over, and it was after probably 20 or 25 minutes, right? Fucking I'm right here, finally. I get a 3rd one in, and as I'm leaning over with all my weight to pop it over the rim, I somersault over the whole fucking tire. Oh my God. And I just flip over like a monkey at the zoo. And I'm like, woo. But in my mind, I'm like, don't let go of those 2 wrenches that are underneath the fucking front disc. And so I didn't. And I flip over. But that was another so I think it was one of those things where the first day of riding was amazing. 170 miles of wicked dual sporting up at, the high Sierras. And then the next day was, 2.5 hours of changing a tire. And they both were equally satisfying. But yeah, that's what I learned was recycle garage. You learn tenacity and fucking watch Emma change the screw. It's all about the knees.
It's all about the knees. You got to use everything that is available to you. The heel of your boot, your knees, your body, the mechanics of your body, and you can do it. But the thing that concerned me, I think, the most about your trip, it's hunting season, and there's a lot of stuff being shot up there. And I suggested for you, Jim, next time you go up to the Sierras in hunting season, wear fluorescent jacket or something that is not deer colored.
I'm so from Santa Cruz. So I wake up yesterday morning. It's no joke, 27 fucking degrees because I turned the bike on to see, right? Fucking ice everywhere. And I'm like, well, I'm going to move around or else I'm going to stay cold. So I'm like, I'm going to walk down to the creek because beautiful creeks. And,
oh, no.
And I started taking pictures of flowers and trees and shit. I'm
very Santa Cruz.
And all of a sudden, and I'm like, people are hunting. I'm still taking pictures. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm trumping around in the woods and people are shooting stuff out here. So I abruptly went to 200 yards back to camp.
Yes, I think that's quite smart on.
But I will say, get out and enjoy your public lands. Well, it is beautiful. It's vast. It's open. I mean, there's nothing like being out at night in the stars and in the morning and all the stuff.
I think out of everyone here, Jim, you have embraced this whole riding a bike for adventure thing more than anybody else I've encountered. I mean, every weekend with you now.
Yeah,
you're going out and doing it, which is great. I know you're hot for it as well, John.
I am, yeah.
But you've been doing it a lot longer. I mean, it's just you found your happy place on motorbikes very quickly in your biking career, Jim.
And it's funny, in this spot, Huntington Lake, Google it, I didn't think much of it, but now that I've been there a couple of times, and it's the exploration. Right. It's you can see the trails, and this trail's going to dead end, and you don't give a shit, because you're going to go down there and see stuff, and see nature, and see animals, and see things you can't imagine. And it's a dead end, because when you hit the dead end, you turn around, which is an effort unto itself sometimes with an adventure bike, and you come back and it's a whole different way. So, get out, adventure, and explore.
Brilliant.
And bring more than 6 CO2 cartridges just in case.
Oh no, I am going to get a pump.
Yep.
Yes, no more CO2 because that motherfucker froze his shit out of my hand. I'm all like, oh yeah, look, there's air going in. This is after an hour.
When you're holding on to it.
After an hour and a half of fucking working, I'm finally getting air in the tire. Yeah, and then also my hand freezes.
Yeah,
because of CO2 cartridge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you use did you lube the bead with anything?
No.
Did you pee on the bead?
I did actually. I
peed on it.
No, actually, I had a. I thought about it. No, I got this.
We don't want to know now.
No. I have the second half of my tire change on video, believe it or not, because I thought about it halfway through. But no, I just took big swigs of water and I spit it all over the tire.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And it
was quite feral. It was a very feral tire changing experience. I'll tell you.
If you're camping, you can get these little travel size things of Dawn, and Dawn's great for a number of reasons because you can wash your hands with it, and it's a lubricant. It's great for fitting tires. And the thing I like about Dawn, there's no salt in it, so it doesn't harm the environment. They always show ads on TV for Dawn, where there's been an oil spill and they're cleaning up the ducts with Dawn. But it's a great lubricant to fit your tires, and the salt in it doesn't make your rims go all crusty. So, and just a little bit. But yeah, spitting water all over it, that's
what
great
about
too.
WD-40?
No.
Gasoline.
No. Talcum powder's quite good.
I don't know. You dance with who you brung out there. I was just trying to get all the fucking dirt and rocks out of the fucking bearings and shit.
If you like letting the clutch out and having the wheel spin with the tire not moving, WD-40 is perfect.
So yeah.
But no, we're coming to the bit we've all been waiting for, and I'm going to let you take this, John, because you told me last week. So I want to get Jonathan back on. So.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, Jonathan did a training here at the garage for first aid on site.
A lot of blood and gore, which I enjoyed very much.
And I've never, as long as I've been riding, I've never actually gone through that specifically. And I thought it was a great presentation and something I think we all need to learn more about, how to deal on site, how to do certain pressure wounds and things like that. So we can't get into everything, number one, because you can't see it. So, but I felt like it would be great for him to just talk to us a little bit about best practices, things to do, what we should know, and we go from there.
Right, and I mean, I want to be clear. So what we're doing now, it's basically you're riding in a group and your friend goes down. This is where you come in. Right?
Yeah, and that's kind of the same scenario that I presented to you guys in the class. Yeah. So what do you do if someone goes down in front of you? And for everyone listening, it's going to be a huge handicap not to show you guys in person. So I hope the only thing you get out of this is that you should go take a medic course as your next rider's training.
Yep.
And preferably once a year. Okay, so what do you do if your friend goes down in front of you? And Emma, do you mind if we use the example of your crash that we used before?
No, we can use the example of my crash.
Wonderful.
So, I was involved in a crash, Highway 25. I'm lying in the middle of the road. Broken bike, diverse people all around. So use that as an example.
Okay, so can you walk us through what happened?
Well, I was lying in the road. So I can't really tell you.
Did you hit someone or did someone hit you?
No, I got rear-ended.
At speed.
I got rear-ended at some speed by another motorcycle, and I hurt my back quite substantially, but I didn't realize it at the time. But I did lose consciousness. This was quite a few years ago. And so I was lying in the middle of Highway 25. I think back down. I can't remember whether it was face down or back down. I was unconscious at this point. Broken bike by the side of the road, another broken bike with a less injured rider over there. Person who'd rear-ended me. And then, and so that was the scenario.
Yeah, and that's what we went over in the class. So I want to talk about we're going to talk about something everybody could do. And then we're going to talk about what I would have done and then kind of reiterate medically what everybody can do.
Right.
So the first thing, we had Liza on scene.
Yes.
And she did a really good job of securing the scene. So the first thing any medic is going to do in any situation is secure the scene. Look around. Is there anything that could cause more patients? Is there anything that's going to hurt anyone else?
Well, and this was a quick, twisty road.
It was a quick, twisty road.
2-lane, right?
But, that covers a variety of things. I mean, the obvious thing is you're on a quick, twisty road, so you want to make sure traffic's not coming. But there's other things. Is a bike leaking fuel? Is there a bike on fire? Is there a bike rider on fire?
Is there a rider on fire?
Are there down power lines? Is there a four-wheeled vehicle involved? There's possibilities are endless.
Right. So anything that could cause further injury. So attend to that. And that's necessarily the first thing before you even attend to the victim, right?
Oh, yeah. First thing. Because if you don't, you could become part of the problem.
Keep yourself safe.
Yep.
Right. So help yourself before you help others. And no, don't do that, Jim.
And John, I think you brought it up in the course. If whenever you see a paramedic, they never run to the patient.
Mm-mm.
They're
slow
always
time down.
They're slowing time down, and
Yep.
and that's a big reason why they do it is so that they can look around, they can assess what's going on, what happened here, and what could possibly hurt me, so that I don't become part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So secure the situation, and then
So in your case, Liza sent people up the road and down the road just to block traffic.
just say, hey, there's an accident.
Yep.
Slow down, which is great.
So 2-lane road, no other hazards. Just stop the traffic.
Right.
The next thing is as you walk up calmly, and I'll say this: another reason why they walk up so slow is because if you're sprinting, if you're getting your heart rate up, you're not going to be able to think clearly. You're not going to be able to go to make I guess your cognitive function is going to decline as your heart rate goes up. You're going to get into
And
a
everybody
fight or
else
flight.
freaks out. You're
Yeah.
like, holy shit, the guy
Right.
that has his shit together is freaking out.
And then,
I'm
I
gonna
guess
freak out for sure.
there's a lot of information to take on board in a very short space of time, isn't there, Jonathan? I
Yep.
mean, one moment we're all riding along together in a nice way, and the sun's shining, and it's a lovely day. And the next, there's broken motorcycles and broken people and blood and gore and bones sticking out where they shouldn't. And, it happens so quickly. So there's a lot of information to take on board. So the more you can slow time down, that makes sense.
Yeah, and if you're right behind the person, just take a deep breath
Right.
as you're looking around and making sure nothing else can hurt you. Just take a deep breath.
Yes.
Get your heart rate down, and then look at your friend. Look at the patient. What was next thing we look at is the mechanism of injury. What happened to this person? How did they go down? Were they hit? Did they have a high side, a low side? And you can tell a lot about that if you come around the corner and see them down. What's the condition of their bike? Are they conscious? Are they unconscious?
Like Sean of the ditch. He was in a ditch,
Right.
which you know is not good.
No.
Anyway,
Yes.
Yes.
So in that case, I mean, I was unconscious. I think I was face down in the road, but nevertheless, you could have looked at the bike and seen the back end of the bike was destroyed.
Yep.
So it's obvious that I'd been hit from behind. So when somebody is hit from behind like me, what's going to be your focus on is back injuries or just
and anytime there's a motorcycle injury, I'm going to consider a head injury.
right?
And then, of course, if you're hit from behind, a back injury.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
And
So if you're coming around, secure the scene.
Yes.
What happened? And then are there other patients? How many people did it happen to?
right.
And once you have that information, you send a runner to get help, or you get someone on the phone if you have reception and tell 911 what happened.
Now, should you grab the person and drag them off to the side of the road, or what should you do?
You should never move a patient. That being said, if there's an immediate life threat and you know how to move them, go ahead and move them if you can do it safely.
And I mean, obviously, there are going to be exceptions.
There's
If
an
you're
exception to every rule.
right, if you're lying across a live railroad track and you hear, a
You hear that
train
train
horn
coming.
in the distance, you're going to get them off that track because you don't want your friend in two halves. But
Right.
on just a road like 25, I mean,
If there's a bike leaking fuel and you see sparks nearby, you
Right.
drag them away from
yes, of course.
Something else I've heard, don't remove their helmet. Is that accurate?
That is very accurate.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
if medical professionals are removing a helmet, it takes 3 people. And the reason for that is you don't want to manipulate the neck in any way that could hurt him further or kill him.
I just had a vision. Remember Dukaki Dave? What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can you do the bukkake with your water bag on him? Remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
He was the guy that crashed on a dirt bike and he was about to die, so everybody took their camel bags out and started pissing on him with their camelbacks, and they called him what was it, Bukkake Dave?
I never knew why you
Dukaki Dave.
I never knew why you
or
called
whatever.
him that. No.
It was-
So wait,
Yeah.
well, no,
So
but it turned
he was
out.
How did that help
also
him?
a super.
No, but it's a good story.
Did he die anyway?
No, but it was Dukaki Dave, and then it turned into Bukkake Dave.
So it was Bukkake Dave after
Oh.
the dirt bike incident.
God almighty.
So you could also consider bukkake Should you be in a?
So was that a good technique that they used there, or what?
Camelback bukkake?
For what? I don't know.
For most things.
Hydration.
Yeah, he was really thirsty. Saved his life. Good job.
No, if that is your idea of a large Saturday evening, don't let me stop you. However, onto more practical things. So, we've secured the scene. We've checked the bike for the nature of impact, and that might not be obvious. I mean, there might be just a piece of crumpled wreckage there with somebody in a heap in the middle of the road or to the side of the road.
And at this point, unless the bike is presenting a hazard, such as leaking fuel, we don't really care about the bike.
Right.
So we want to go and assess the patient, and that's what we went over in the class. Is how do you check somebody for immediate life threats?
Right.
Before you can either.
And that is the very, very valid point. Is all we are doing is you're keeping this person alive until professionals can show up. That is your only role. Your role's not to be a nurse, not to be a doctor. It's to keep this person alive until professional people can take over. Is that correct?
That is correct. And that's, as a paramedic in search and rescue, that's all I'm doing is maintaining perfusion, keeping them alive until I can get them to higher medical care.
Right.
And so for me, I want to go through what I'm going to do if I come across Emma or a friend going down. And then I want to talk about what everyone can do without any medical training if you're not going to go take a class.
Yes, please.
So if I see someone go down, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at massive hemorrhage. We go by the March algorithm. So I look at the person. Is there any pooling of blood? Is there any tears in their clothing? Is there any obvious puncture wounds?
So pooling like external blood or like bruising inside the body?
No, external blood.
Okay, so is there
you
blood
losing
anywhere?
a ton of blood?
Okay, gotcha.
So everything here is going to be
because I'm sure you're
perfusion.
like, holy shit, if you're like that happens.
Yeah. So you're just making sure they don't lose any blood,
right,
and they can keep breathing until medical care gets there. You really can't do anything else for them in the field. So the first thing, like I said, make sure there's no massive bleeding. So you're checking their limbs, and without moving them as much as possible too, because you're with a motorcycle wreck, you're really suspect of a spinal injury or a head injury.
Right. Now, as far as limbs go, I mean, if everything appears to be give or take where it should, are you still going to check the limbs, or are you pretty much going to leave well alone? So, obviously if you've got a leg at sort of like, that shouldn't be at that angle, or your foot's facing backwards. That'd be a bad thing.
If it's a break, at this point, I don't care. I just want to make sure you're not losing you're not going to bleed out.
Right. So you're interested in compound fractures. Fractures themselves are, academic.
And with us we're wearing leathers, we're wearing Gore-Tex, we're wearing waterproof things that could contain all that blood inside the clothing. So just open the clothing if you see any blood pooling inside their jacket, coming out of their sleeves. Maybe if you see any tearing in their clothing, then blood would be coming out of there. Then you're going to be suspect of some severe bleeding, either arterial, which will be squirting, or venous, which will just be oozing out. So and the only thing you can do is either apply direct pressure or put a tourniquet on. And I know, Jim, you're going to be excited about these.
Yeah, or bukkake with your camelback or the other. But yes, no, tourniquets are a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You were talking about on the last podcast that you were carrying a tourniquet.
Yeah. Well, I have a bunch of questions, but the only reason I carry a tourniquet is my daughter told me to.
Okay.
She's like, carry that and a signal mirror of all things, because I have my little kit, and a lot of it is like blood, stopping the bleeding, whole thing. But I do. I have it with CAT. Is that what they call them?
That's the most common one.
Yeah.
Really, it's a strap that you can wrap around the limb to get tight enough that you can stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Cat tourniquets are a really popular one. It's a good one. But there's some other things we carry. If you're out camping, like you were, you have pronghorn straps, you have tie down straps.
So let's just talk briefly about what a tourniquet actually does. So if we think about, say, an arm and a leg as just like this slab of meat, which is basically what it is, with a couple of bones passing through it, and there's arteries, Some are larger, some are smaller. And a tourniquet, you're going to squash all that meat and bone together enough that it's going to collapse that artery and shut it off, so it's not going to squirt blood out further down the line.
That's it.
And that's it. There's no finesse about it. There's nothing subtle about it. You were just squashing everything together. So,
well, and never using one. And this is why I'm curious is, you have to practice this thing, right? Because if you pull it out of your bag and it's all wadded up and Velcro, it's like, and I would imagine if you need a tourniquet, things are pretty intense, right? You're like, holy moly. So practice it. But then also, just based on what Jakey was saying, it's like, it's going to be an intense moment where you're going to be cranking on this thing and people are going to be screaming in pain. And you're like, I don't give a fuck because I'm cranking this shit down. And like, it sounds like a very intense thing. We talked about tourniquets like it's not a big deal, but it sounds
it's a big deal. It hurts.
Like a big deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so we went off at a tangent just as we did when you were giving the class. So you're at the patient, you've assessed for...
Well, let's go back to what Jim was saying.
Right.
The way you had your tourniquet packed, you guys were talking about. The reason why it's a big deal to practice it is A, so you can put it on right. You have to make sure you get it tight enough to stop the bleeding. But B, so you're fast. I showed you guys a video of someone with a femoral injury, and he passed out within 40 seconds. So if you can't do under 30 seconds, that person's losing consciousness. And that includes the time of injury. So you come around the corner and they're already down and bleeding.
And losing consciousness is important that you don't let it get that far, because all the time they're conscious, they can tell you basically where it's hurting. Once they've lost consciousness, you've lost that line of communication now. It's basically... all you can do to help them is what you can see.
Yeah, once they're unconscious, it just becomes a more difficult situation.
Right.
So here's the conversation I kind of was looking forward to was kind of down and dirty is like, you're not on the road, you're out adventure riding, right?
Yeah.
You're out in the woods, you're by yourself, you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing, right? Until you don't. And so a couple of my questions is like, how would you, I'm trying to think of what injuries are possible based on like my experiences of, like a lot of times you're going to fall on a rock, like you're going to tip over, fall on a rock and maybe crush or hurt something. It's like, what should you have in your kit to get you back out? Like, so pain meds and like, I don't like what kind of, I guess what, cause I've seen videos where a stick jams into somebody's leg.
Yeah.
So prepared for that. Like, I don't know. What's the down and dirty shit you should keep with you? This is where
you really need to look at taking a course.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't have anything in your kit that you don't know how to use.
Right.
And with adventure riding, if you want to war game, what could happen? Anything could happen because you're on the street to get there.
Yeah, true.
You're on some sketchy 2-track while you're up there. You're doing trials bikes or trial stuff on Jeep trails.
Yeah.
So literally anything could happen if you're adventure riding. So back to the kit, what to pack. Think about where you're riding. Think about what hazards are around there and just any trauma injuries in general. And if you go to buy a basic trauma kit, you're going to have a couple rolls of gauze and a tourniquet. And outside of that, you'll know more about what to pack after you take your training course.
Yeah.
No, I got we talked about this during your training. There's there's a group called Road Guardians, roadguardians.org, that has different levels of different packs that you could have for first aid kits, and I really like what they've put together. And it seems like most everything's there that you would need, but just everyone should probably jump on their website and check out what they have going on.
Another resource that I want to provide is American Red Cross has an app that is just called First Aid, American Red Cross. And that was one last time I took my course. I was asking my instructor specifically about motorcycle industries because I'm a safety instructor. I'm concerned that I might have to deal with that sometime. And it has a lot of the app has places where you can look at, okay, if someone is experiencing this, what can you do about it? And it has quizzes you can take for based on this information to make sure that you know it well. I have it always downloaded it to my phone because even though I've taken the classes and even though I'm up on my certification and stuff, I'm really worried that I'm going to have a situation sometime and then just freak out and forget and not have it practiced and ready to go. So having it super easily accessible for me is something that gives me more comfort that if I do come across a situation, I have something with me that I can deal with it a little bit easier while I'm on the phone with 911, whatever happens. So.
And accessible, I think, is key, whether it's your Garmin InReach Mini or it's your first aid pack. So I was thinking about this when I was riding, because on the Africa Twin, I have a little dry pack I put on the back of the bike. It's got tools, my first aid kit, and then like a raincoat, right? Just because raincoats are great. But I'm thinking about it, and if I eat shit and fly off the edge of a trail or something, my first aid kit with all the blood clotting,
with the bike.
yeah, with all the blood clotting and everything else is up on the bike. And my Garmin I keep on me, and I keep all my buckles buckled. Right, my daughter's advice again: if that shit's got a buckle, you fucking buckle it, because you don't want it coming off. But again, accessible. Like if it's not near and you can get to it, then it doesn't do you a whole lot.
That's
of good.
why I love my Climb backpack with a water bladder in it, because I can just put my things in.
Hang on, here's a point though, and we'll go back to my wreck. I was on a road, and admittedly, it was in a remote piece of the countryside.
Yeah, beautiful San Benito County.
Yes. But I was on a road.
Yes, on the road.
If you are in the backwoods of Hollister Hills and you're in a group of people, one of you had better have a first aid kit. Mm-hmm. Because you could bleed out from a very minor injury waiting for a first aid kit.
Yep.
Because if you have an arterial injury on the trail, let's think of a worst case scenario. You're in a group of 10 and you have an arterial injury on the trail. You've got 40 seconds before you pass out, and nobody's got a tourniquet. And so right now, you are completely relying, you've got a stick through your leg and it's absolutely pouring blood out. You are absolutely relying on your friend's ability to figure out how to take off a belt or something and fashion a tourniquet out of that before you lose consciousness.
You're going to die. Well, it's funny talking about this. So here's
it doesn't sound a great scenario, does it?
So if you're researching tourniquets, you just need to understand the principle of the tourniquet.
Well, I think
that you can improvise one if you have
it's
to.
not just that. It's the kind of, I know where we're going with this. Is you've really got to carry a first aid kit,
right? And like you were saying, Jim, that first aid kit is on the back of your bike. If you get separated from your bike, it does you no good.
Yeah.
So I think in general, I try to have everything for me goes in my pack. Everything for the bike, including tools, tubes, whatever, stays on the bike.
Very, very wise words.
So, there's just one thing I want to mention, just because like this shit, we talk about it's one thing, but when you're actually in the middle of it, it's a whole nother thing, as I know you know. And just to comment, is a lot of times you roll up on somebody. Sean in the ditch was like this. This was the guy that high-sided Hollister Hills, went into a ditch with those big gravel like drainage rocks, and he was unconscious when we got up to him. He had a broken wrist, was all fucked up. And another car accident I was around. Anyway, people will come to, and they want to move.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, no one told me what to do when this guy's trying to climb out of all this glass fucked up, because you can't stop him, right? So I guess just be aware that that'll happen, right?
Yeah, or they try to fight you or something.
Yeah.
Adrenaline.
But they're fucked. It's like, whoa, dude, you're fucked up. Just lay down,
just
man.
do whatever you can to just
adrenaline is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Because once that adrenaline, back to me, the adrenaline kicked in, I was up.
Yeah,
I wanted gone.
Well, when I got back to the accident, because I was in front, I got back to you were up walking around.
Yeah.
And then half an hour later, you were passed out again on the pavement.
Yeah. And that was just adrenaline.
Yeah.
And
that happened when I did a high side and broke my collarbone.
Right.
And the shock hit and the adrenaline hit. I to your point, I thought I was great. And then by the time I got to the hospital, I passed out. As soon as that shock wore off and the adrenaline went, I was gone.
But you get it when you, as
Brandon did too. He broke his back and was walking around for a minute because of the adrenaline afterwards.
Right.
So I guess you just kind of gently guide them to wherever a safe place is going to be for them.
Try to have them, keep them comfortable. Don't let them move. You took about a half hour before your adrenaline wore off. And
it was about half an hour. It was beginning. I was getting very, very, because I wanted to get to civilization, and I was getting very, very woozy before we were pulling into Tres Pinos, and then I knew I was done. before I'd even arrived at Tres Pinos. I thought, you know, and I just
But you made it.
I made it to the parking lot, and everyone walks in the restaurant. Meanwhile, I'm just passed out.
Well, I glanced over and I'm like, why is Emma laying next to her bike? Is she checking something? And I'm like, no, Emma is fucking passed out.
Yeah, and then the pain kicked in. And
Yeah, we gave you a little camelback bukkake and you were good to go.
yeah, exactly. No, that was the real one. It wasn't a camelback.
It was Tres Pinos after
yes,
all.
it was. That's right. 3 Pinoses. Not uno or dos, but tres.
My goodness.
But yeah, so...
if you see someone, if you see a wreck and someone gets up and they're walking around, they might just have adrenaline going. So have them sit down and then just take the time to look over their bike. Because by the time you give their bike a thorough once over, their adrenaline's probably wearing off. And if they do have any significant injury, it'll start to show.
How reliable is it? Because you are a trained paramedic. I know you've got years of training. I know you're very, very good at what you do.
I'm okay.
So, all right, you're okay at what you do. But for just a member of the public like me or Jim or John, Mycah or Charlie, how reliable is it to sit and look at somebody and look at their pupils and talk to them? How reliable is it to assess any kind of injury from that? I mean, obviously, if they've got one pupil that's giant and one that's tiny,
if they have a
there's
blown
something.
pupil or
It's
they're fixed,
not a
which means they're
good
not
thing.
changing with any light, then they have an obvious head injury.
Right. And obviously, if they're speaking in tongues. But
Speaking in tongues, if someone's passed out with irregular or snoring respirations, if they have fluid coming from their ears or their nose.
Oh yeah, I remember we talked
Probably
about
anywhere.
that.
Any fluid leakage is
And
probably bad.
It's. I mean, blood is the obvious one, but if you've got like clear fluid coming out of your ears, that's a very bad thing.
Yeah, that's
isn't
bad.
it? Yes,
That's cerebral spinal fluid. You have a significant head injury.
yes. So things to look out for.
So in general, you're probably going to be riding with people you know.
Right.
If they're acting different than they normally do, if we call it, how are they mentating? If they're just acting strangely, then maybe suspect a head injury. Have them sit down for a while and call for help. Have help already on the way. You can turn them away when they get there.
That reminds me of something that happened to me, God, about 10 years ago. And it was, funnily enough, it was out on 25 again. This group of people pulled in. There was a guy on a yellow 748 Ducati. And we were all sitting, just having a break. And this guy pulls in, drops the bike really hard, pulling into the parking lot and bangs his head. And he's running around like a complete idiot. And his friends don't seem to be doing anything. And I said, is he okay? Did he bang his head? And they said, no, he's a complete dickhead. He's always like this. Okay.
There's no first aid for that.
Yeah, no first aid for that.
So that was his
They said,
baseline.
yeah, no, he's so there's value in that. There's value in what you say, you know. And there are going to be scenarios where I'm sure you come across a complete stranger and you kind of have to assess it. But we're assessing for physical damage to the body. We're assessing to a certain extent for cerebral damage and mental damage.
Yeah, and as far as back to the head injury, the other thing you can look at, back to the mechanism of injury, is their helmet dent, cracked, scraped?
Right.
Like when you wreck
Charlie's
on the track.
is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a head injury, but you wouldn't want to get back on the bike, A, with your helmet in that condition, and B, it might, once the adrenaline wears off.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and also when we noticed my helmet was obviously impacted, we also then went to the paramedics and were like, I hit my head. Do I, and they were like, you're good.
They're like, are you tired? Nah, don't
So-
go ride again,
Yeah.
but you're good.
So, Jonathan, I mean, what else should we be looking for? So we've assessed, we've come across the scene. There's no bleeding. Arms and legs appear to be where they should be. The person's stringing a sentence together. The pupils are normal. Clothing, it's scraped up, but it's not bad. What else could put them in immediate danger that we might miss at the time?
So if I'm on that patient, the next thing I'm looking at is their airway. Is there anything in their airway that's going to stop them from breathing? Did they bite their tongue? Did they break their
Right.
teeth? Is there any debris?
Like helmet debris
yeah.
in their teeth.
What's that acronym again?
March.
Yeah,
March.
give us the letters again.
MARCH. So massive hemorrhage, airway, respiration, circulations, and then head and hypothermia.
Right. And of course, if they are conscious, you can. Are you breathing okay? Can you breathe? Yeah, I can breathe okay.
Yeah, that's
Or
an obvious.
I'm struggling to breathe. But even if they say that, that might be a reaction, a panic reaction, right?
If they can tell you they're struggling to breathe, then their airway's clear, but maybe they're panicking. Maybe they have a rib injury causing a tension pneumothorax
Okay.
or a tension hemothorax.
Okay.
So that goes into your next. Is there any chest injury that's going to stop him from breathing?
Right.
And this is where you got to touch Henry's chest.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Henry is built. He's solid.
Doesn't
He's
look
like
He's a stud.
I'm telling you, he's a superhero
Yeah.
at night.
he's the blue Power Ranger. I'm telling you.
Player. Yeah, he is.
Player. When you
Total man
touch
crush on
Henry, it's like touching concrete. There is no
It's marble, darling.
it's marble. There is no fat on that
Chiseled.
man whatsoever. He's chiseled. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gibbering on now.
I know, I'm getting excited.
Yeah, well, and you.
His hair is great.
So, yeah.
Oh, he's
so,
got great
and
hair.
when
He
you
does.
did it, I had you put your
he's
hands
dreamy.
right on his diaphragm.
I
Just,
know.
Just,
Oh, that
just
was the
below
best
his ribs.
part.
And you're just feeling for chest rise and fall, and if it's the same on both sides,
I gave him a
Well, why
little
did you stick your hands
massage,
down his pants then? What was that for?
just for fun,
Because I wanted to. Because I
Checking
wanted
for
to.
just for
liquid
moral
cooling.
support.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Checking. Yeah.
That was my idea of a large Saturday night. Thank you. So you at this stage, so we're ticking off the scenarios. No blood, no bits sticking out, arms and legs, coherent. I'm struggling, to breathe a little bit, but I think undo the jacket.
Undo the jacket. Are there any obvious puncture wounds? Do you
Right.
see any bruising? And I mean, without more kit or more medical training, that's really all you can do.
Right. That's perfect because as simple as that is, you could save a life with this.
Okay, I have another completely different question.
Yes.
What would you have in your kit to prepare to overnight? Like when I go out to ride,
Ooh,
sometimes I'm
That's
like,
a good question.
I actually have a sticker on the side of my bike, prepare to overnight.
Okay.
Like, what would be some of the, like,
Are you talking about first aid wise or
in survival?
Survival. Okay.
Like, I'm thinking like a fucking garbage bag because I could wear that like a waterproof poncho. But like, what are some things you should definitely like
It's-
all of a sudden
it's
you're
basically
like,
a garbage bag, but I really like those emergency bivvies, and it's kind of like a space blanket, large condom that you can roll yourself up in if you're out there and you don't expect to be out there. And it's warm enough. It's going to keep you alive. It's not going to be comfortable.
right? Like all of a sudden you end up in like,
Yeah.
I've got to stay the night out here,
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. I like to pick up little tricks and tips from people that.
Something to start fire.
Yeah,
something
right.
to eat.
Do you,
and you don't
so
have
do
to
you
have,
bring
like,
the little fucking
dinner.
Sparky thing? What do they call that? The John, you got
Not-
one,
not
you motherfucker.
I've got one.
Do you really gonna
Right
light
here.
this room on
Is
fire?
that a Sparky thing or
It
a
is
lighter?
a Sparky thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's, the Leatherman Signal has a Sparky thing and a whistle on it too.
I just have a lighter.
I got a lighter too.
Yeah.
But like little things like that. I mean, that kind of stuff matter because like where we ride, you can end up 30 or 40 feet off the trail, but
Yeah.
no one would ever see you.
Right.
And you're down there with a broken hip. It's like other than like a Garmin or something like that. What else can you do to, I don't know, put the odds in your favor?
Well, going back to that garment, comms is a big one.
Yeah.
You went, Emma, you went down on Highway 125. Eliza had to send a runner to get reception
Absolutely.
to call for help. And then you were conscious enough to get back on the bike and go to reception.
Yeah, I have the Garmin with me all the time.
Okay.
Because I live in the mountains.
Yeah.
You never know when I'm not going to have cell service, so I've just got it with me.
That's a good point John brings up is for street riding, a Garmin's a great thing because like a lot of twisties we do, you could end off the side of the road,
exactly.
And you don't want to die like literally 40 or 50 feet from a road, right? But
and
you
especially
could.
up in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
So I ride it with a street too. I tend to bring it. So that's a good comment,
a lot of times we don't really plan rides. We just go out and have some fun. But if you know where you're going to ride and you know where you can, then you can plan for comms. At every point, how am I going to call for help? Is it going to be the Garmin that I just have on me all the time? That's perfect. Is there cell reception? Do I have a radio? What are the frequencies for local EMS, etc. So just plan to be able to communicate with someone wherever you're going. Yeah. Even if it's just Jim telling everyone he's taking a shit.
I hit Liza with that yesterday. I'm going poop. And I was out in the middle. Anyway, yeah, I do send Liza messages from my Garmin when I go poop.
That's what you want to hear when you're in Pakistan.
I know she's in Pakistan doing all this cool shit.
It's probably 3 o'clock in the morning when you.
But that's the one thing I do worry about in particular with you, Jim, because you are out there on your own, and a very, very minor occurrence could get serious very, very quickly.
Well, we were with the adventure bikes. We were talking about that. The most difficult things I did all weekend, and it was challenging riding. It was a lot of fun. The two most difficult things were changing the rear tire.
Right.
Fucking Moto Z, you know.
Yeah, well, a
GPS,
tire iron.
the same one Charlie runs on his
tire iron in the face. Not
yes,
only
multiple times, yes.
Yeah, you could lose an eye. You could, smash an airway.
The other no joke was just turning around.
Right.
It's the little thing. The little things will get you. Pay attention to the small things. But literally, like you go up this crazy little switchback and you're like, oh shit, I can't do that. And no joke, 20 minutes, half an hour just trying to turn the bike around.
Yeah, that happened to us when we were up taking that one trail.
Right.
I went down, you were down further back. And, I had to, because it was up on a hill, I had to grab the rear wheel and just pull it around.
Yep.
But it took forever and I was gassed when I was done.
But I'm always reminded. I mean, solitude is a wonderful thing, and ultimately, motorbiking is a game for one player. But it always strikes me, if you're back out in the wilderness,
it's a balance. Yeah,
it's a balance. Being with somebody just really mitigates the risks.
Yeah, I want to say real fast, one of the biggest things that we can all do that will save your life is prevention. There is the number one thing that you can do to save your life on a motorcycle is to wear a helmet. After that, wearing gear is so significant. There's a 37 to 61% fatality reduction rate by taking multiple courses. Ooh. So take multiple courses and your life. We got those statistics from the military. It's a huge thing you can do, not only riding courses, but take a medical course. If you don't have your first aid information, if you take medications, if you have some important stuff like that, have that on you. I know Isaac rides with a little patch on his arm that says first aid, and you can pull it, and it has a little card that will come out that has his first aid information, has his contact information for important people, so that someone knows who he is and what to do with him if he gets hurt. So prevention.
So once again, we have run very, very short of time, and I always feel terribly guilty because Jonathan always prepares so well for these things.
Well, let me just finish. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, exactly, because we are getting towards the end of the show. So
wrap it up and plan a ride.
Yeah. Yeah, and as we saw with the first aid class that I taught you guys, we're just scratching the surface.
Exactly.
We could talk about this for the next couple years.
When I do a history hole, I always say to people, I'm just giving you a little taste.
Right.
That's all I'm giving you is just a little taste. There's a lot more research to be done. So, wrap it up.
So, just to simplify, if there's an accident, secure the scene.
Yes.
No one else is going to get hurt. Send help or call for help, whatever comms
and this is in the order it's happening.
This is in the order it's happening. And then stop any major bleeding.
Yes.
And then don't move that patient unless there's an immediate life threat. And you know how to do it. That's it.
Wise words.
Keep that patient. So you asked about helmets earlier, about taking off helmets. Most helmets, in fact, keep your neck in a really good position. So don't take off the helmet. Mm-hmm. Just keep that person there. Keep them comfortable. If you have an extra jacket, put your jacket on them. If it's sunny, keep the shade, because it might take a little bit, especially if you're out in the middle of nowhere for EMS to get there.
And if you can call 911, make that one of your very first things. Just go send someone for help out the gate.
So secure the scene, send for help, stop any major bleeding, and other than that, just keep them still, keep them calm.
So which is tricky because, man, we came up on Sean of the ditch and he was all fucked up. His arm was broken and he's all coming to, and we're like, bro, just fucking chill. But he did. But, I found we were honest with him. We're like, man, you're real fucked up in a ditch, but you're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. You're going to be okay. Just sit tight.
I wonder what he's doing now. He might still be in physical therapy.
I don't know. He had a large contusion in his ribs. I think he landed ribs on a rock.
Nasty business.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, some action items for this might be, number one, go take a first aid class.
Yep.
Just
I
make that
think,
happen.
anybody who does a high risk sport, there's going to be value in taking a first aid class because, with adventure comes risk, and riding a motorcycle is an adventure, and there is risk involved. And unfortunately, as lovely as riding a motorbike is, when things go wrong, they go wrong quite quickly.
Yes.
And I think the more you can do yourself or for your immediate friends, and the less you have to rely on the skill of strangers around you, the better the outcome's going to be.
And I think part of the theme, to echo Mycah, is take classes.
Yes.
John, too, take classes.
They're out there.
Take classes.
Take a course.
Totally.
The second thing I heard was get a trauma-based first aid kit. Have it with you, just in case. We all should be riding with first aid kits all the time, which includes a tourniquet.
Yep.
Learn how to use a tourniquet.
Yeah, and that's going to be part of taking the course. Is what do I want to have in my pack? What am I trained to use in my pack?
And the last thing I heard was, especially if you're going to be in remote areas, make sure you have some sort of comms.
Yeah, be able to communicate.
Yeah, we had that dude on the show who had a heart attack in the middle of nowhere, and he was doing the Transamerica Trail.
Right.
Having chest pains and hit the SOS button. 3 hours later, they helicoptered him out.
Yep.
Otherwise, he'd be dead.
He was here to tell us about it, which says a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Jonathan, thank you. I feel we're going to have you on the show multiple times.
Yeah, we
I
should.
really
That's
do.
what I'm worried about.
Well, don't be.
We should talk about it, some riding the next time he's here, like a nice camping trip or something, I think.
I think so.
Let's do a podcast at a campsite.
So, no, I would like to talk about bikes with you because when Jonathan first arrived, there was this noise that sounded like a jet barreling down the runway. And this BMW K75 arrived because there's nothing on the road that sounds like a BMW K75. And you're still enjoying that bike, but you've been riding the KTM a little more, haven't you?
Oh, I'm enjoying that KTM.
Yeah.
Which one?
A 500.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, EXC, right?
That's a proper dirt bike.
That is a proper bike.
Proper dirt bike.
And most of the riding I do is in the dirt. So I got lucky. I saw that on Craigslist on a salvage title and bought it, fixed it up a little bit. And
what's that, like 46 horsepower and like 250 pounds or something?
Oh, yeah, just ridiculous power to weight. And I just want to say before we go, people are going to like, who the hell's this Jonathan? You are the real deal. You are military.
I'm your favorite paramedic because I'm your only paramedic.
Right, exactly. But you are military. You spend your time sitting in Apache helicopters and jumping out and helping people, right?
More or less.
Yeah, there you go. So
he's on my team.
Yeah, no, he knows what
We're
he's
picking teams.
He knows what he's talking about. I mean, we have proper legit people on this show.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
funny.
actually just got all that on YouTube before I came in.
Yeah, there you go. YouTube certified. Yeah, if there's a hole with blood coming out, just stick your finger in.
Yep.
And that's it.
And then bukkake.
Well, I learned from Jim. Jim's always like, "Hey, just talk to people," and I'm not the most talky person like that. And we happen to be in Home Depot.
Hello, I'm John.
Well, we were in Home Depot and we bonded over rats.
That's how I met the Misfits. I saw John in Home Depot looking like he was sponsored by Climb. So I went up and asked him what he was riding.
That's your kind of guy.
And
I'm so annoying with anyone I see with a helmet. I'm like, hi, I ride motorcycles too.
Be all like gushy. Yeah.
You want to be friends?
But yes,
great community.
talk to people. God, I was in the woods this weekend. All the deer hunters were up there. I'm like, I wish I could record these people, but always take the time to talk to people. Humans are great.
Did any of them know how to change a tire?
No, but a lot of them.
They enjoyed watching you, though, didn't they?
They did. Well, it got to a point where I started. People would stop and bless. People are really good. Most, I think 99.9% of the people in the world are nice people. And but so many people stopped. After a while, they would stop, and I'm like, blood, sweat, and tears over here. And I would be like, "Hey, you guys need some help? How you doing?" And they got guns and camo and shit.
Oh, I love it.
It was funny.
We were going to read emails, but I think we've run out of time.
We can save for next week.
No, we're going to save them all for next week. So, Bagel, I know you haven't done much in the way of biking. I know you've got cat trouble this week, haven't you?
Yeah, there's been a lot of cat drama here lately.
Oh, no.
Yes, but we'll talk about that another time on the
Yes.
cat podcast, perhaps.
We love cats.
But I know you finally got your
else?
Honda registered,
What-
and that's a cause for
I
celebration.
did.
It looks like
Yes,
there's two things behind him of
Well,
interest.
Well,
yeah,
the one
other
is
one
the same thing I sold to him.
Yeah, the CT110 parts bike is back there. the
That's
donor
what that
bike.
is. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah,
he's got the Doner Kebab bike, which is
Yes.
going to give the engine to the front bike.
It's looking suspiciously Japanese all of a sudden.
Well, no, he's
Yeah.
a motorbiker now. It's
He's a
time you
biker.
gave up those silly scooters and started riding proper motorbikes.
I've been dabbling a little bit.
Yeah, you see. Yeah.
He's going to have a Hayabusa next week.
I
So-
don't think I've ever seen Bagel ride anything except for a scooter.
Nobody has.
Well, watch this space.
Right?
You have to go to OnlyFans. Costs you $15.
Bagel naked on a motorcycle.
Oh no, he has a skirt. He's got the skirt on.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah, so we'll talk further next week. Jonathan, please come back on the show again. It's always a treat talking to you about all the horrible things that can happen to the human body.
Awesome.
How all the fluids that can come
Yeah,
out
all the
of
fluids
places.
that come out and what they mean.
Pooling.
Yeah, and, tourniquets are always fun to talk about. So,
Although they sound quite painful
yes,
in practice.
well, yes, I'm sure they are. Anything to add, anyone, before we all say goodnight? No?
Don't die.
Ride more motorcycles.
Yeah,
Take classes.
If you want to learn how to
Yes.
change a tire, change a scooter tire.
Oh, that's like
Yeah, your story told me that I want a center stand on my bike.
Yes, yes,
Maybe
or else you're looking for a big
Next
rock.
time you are doing a tire change, try using the tools on your motorcycle.
right.
Okay.
And
use
if-
what's in your kit.
If you want to get ahead, get a hat. And on I think it's. I think it is time to say goodnight. This is Emma Darling.
Make a gym, son.
Stumpy John.
Jonathan.
Charlie.
Micah.
Bagel.
Booyakasha.
Booyakasha! We are out of here. Cool.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh,